Alright, this says an equation is shown below. What is the solution to the equation? I need to find the value of p. I know that 2p is equal to 3.4, so I can divide both sides by 2 to find out what 1p is equal to. 3.4 divided by 2 is 1.7. So our answer is p equals 1.7, which is B. Number 2, which of the following represents the solution to the equation? The solution is what b is equal to. So I see that b plus 6 divided by 5 is equal to 10. See, b is being added by 6 and then divided by 5. So I'm going to do the inverse operations and multiply by 5 on both sides of my equation, which gives me b plus 6 on the left side and 50 on the right side. If b plus 6 is equal to 50, I can subtract 6 from both sides and find that b is equal to 44. So the answer is A. What is the solution of the equation 5.8x minus 1.4 equals 16? The operations happening to x are it is being multiplied by 5.8 and then subtracted by 1.4. So I'm going to do the inverse operations and add 1.4 to both sides of my equation. This gives me 5.8x on the right side or the left side and 17.4 on the right side. Now I can divide both sides by 5.8. Five point eight x divided by 5.8 is x, and 17.4 divided by 5.8 is 3. So our answer is A. Which of the following shows the equation below in slope-intercept form? Now, slope-intercept form looks like y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. This equation doesn't look like that, so we're going to do some operations to make it that way. First, I want y all by itself on the left side, so I'm going to get rid of these other operations. It's being multiplied by 3 and added by 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides of the equation, and I get 3y on the left side and x plus 30 on the right. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Now I need to divide everything by 3. So I get y equals 1/3 x. That's the same as x divided by 3. Plus 30 divided by 3 is 10. Looks like that is C. Alright, this just says solve, so we need to find the value of y. Now, before we can really start doing our inverse operations, we need to simplify this a little bit. I see a 5 outside of the parentheses, so I'm going to multiply it by everything inside. 5 times y is 5y, and 5 times 4 is 20. On the left side, we can just keep everything the same. 8y minus 4. Now, I'm going to move this over so that I have a little bit more space. Now we're almost ready to start our inverse operations, but we have some y's on the right side and some y's on the left. I want to move them all to one side. So I'm going to subtract 5y from both sides of the equation. Get 8y minus 5y is 3y. 5y minus 5y is 0. So on the right side I just have 20. Now I can do my inverse operations and add 4 to both sides and divide both sides by 3. And I get y is equal to 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the answer is B. The baseball team had $1,000 to spend on supplies. The team spent $185 on a new bat. New baseballs cost $4 each. The inequality 185 plus 4b is less than or equal to 1,000 can be used to determine the number of new baseballs, B, that the team can purchase. Which statement about the number of new baseballs that can be purchased is true? So one, it says the team can purchase 204 new baseballs. Now, to answer this question, we're going to need to solve for B in this inequality. So I'm going to rewrite it down here. 185 plus 4b is less than or equal to 1,000. And we can solve this by subtracting 185 from both sides. I get 4b is less than or equal to 815. And then divide both sides by 4. So I get b is less than or equal to 203.75. So 204 is greater than 203.75. So this is not possible. The minimum number of new baseballs that can be purchased is 185. So if they have enough money to buy 203 baseballs, they also have enough money to buy 185. So that can't be the maximum. The maximum number of new baseballs that can be purchased is 185. Now, we just found that the maximum was 203. So they can buy 185, but they can also buy more than 185. The last one says the team can purchase 185 new baseballs, but this number is neither the maximum nor the minimum. This one is true because they can buy up to 203, so they can buy 185, but they can also buy more or less. Solve the compound inequality and graph the solution. To do this one, I see that this is a compound inequality, so I'm going to break it up into two parts. I see that 2x minus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 10, so I'm going to write that half over here. And then I also see that 2x minus 4 is less than 6. So I'm going to write that part over here. Can solve this side by adding 4 to both sides. Negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. And then dividing both sides by 2, I get negative 3 is less than or equal to x. Solving my second inequality, I add 4 to both sides. 2x is less than 6, and then divide both sides by 2, and I get x is less than 3. Now I need to look at my answer choices. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually made a mistake. 6 plus 4 is 10, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Alright, so now when I look back at my answer choices, I have to find the one that says that x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So that could be A or C. D and B have to be wrong. And it also has to be less than 5. So the only correct one is C. This question is asking me to write the equation of the line that passes between these 2 points. Now I know that in each coordinate pair there's an x value and a y value. And using these I can make a table of my x values on the left and my y values on the right. Using this table, I can go in my calculator. First, I need to go to Stat and press Enter. Then I'm going to put in my numbers. And then last, I'm going to go Stat, Calc, and then go down to 4, Lin Reg. And this should tell me my slope and my y-intercept. And it will tell me that my slope is supposed to be negative 4, I'll say A equals -4, and that my y-intercept is supposed to be 23.9. So the answer is C. Alright, so this is a graph showing how many miles somebody on a dirt bike has gone in how many minutes over time. And we need to find out what the speed that this salesman was riding. So I'm going to pick 2 points. Here, after 0 minutes, he had gone 0 miles. And then here, after 30 minutes, he'd gone 3 miles. So I can find my rate of change. He went in 30 minutes. He went in 30 minutes. He went 3 miles. But all of my choices are in miles per hour. So I need to think for a second. If I can go 3 miles in 30 minutes, it's a half an hour. How far can I go in a whole hour? So in 60 minutes, or 1 hour, I can go twice as far, 6 miles. So our answer choice is A. For number 10, we have a table, and we also need to write the equation for it. So once again, we're just going to use stat, hit enter, put the numbers in our calculator, and then stat calc linreg, and it will tell us our slope and y-intercept. And it will say that A is 3.75 and B is 2.5. So our answer is B. So we need to write the equation for a line that is parallel to this one. And I know that parallel means the same slope. So our line is going to have a slope of 5. And it also needs to pass through the point 2, 16. This is an x value and a y value. I can use our slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b and plug in the 3 values that I know, 16, 5, and 2, and then solve to find my y-intercept. 5 times 2 simplifies to 10, and subtracting 10 from both sides, I get b is equal to 6. So my equation then is going to be parallel to this one, so it has a slope of 5, and then has a y-intercept of 6. B. Sam's restaurant sells hot dogs. The amount charged for a hot dog, H, is based on the cost of a plain hot dog plus an additional charge for each topping, T. So I know that T stands for toppings, and H stands for hot dogs, or the cost of a hot dog. So it's going to ask us some questions about it. What does the number 0.55 represent in this equation? Now, I know that if T represents the number of toppings, then 0.55 has to be the cost per topping. So A says the cost of a plain hot dog. No, the cost of a plain hot dog is 5. That can't be true. The number of toppings, well, the number of toppings is T, and we don't know that, so it can't be that. Number C says the additional cost for each topping. So this is the correct answer. D is talking about hamburgers, so that has nothing to do with this question. Number 13 says we need to write the equation. To write an equation, we need 2 things, a slope and a y-intercept. So I'm going to look and see what my y-intercept is, or where my line crosses the y-axis, and it's right here at -3. So I'm going to cross out all of the equations that don't have a y-intercept of -3. Now I need to figure out if the slope is -1/2 or +1/2. And I see that each time we go down 1, we go over 2. So as y changes by -1, x changes by +2. So our slope has to be negative. Moving from left to right, it is going down. We need to identify the domain and range. And I know that domain means x values and range means y values. So looking at this graph, I need to look at my points and figure out what x values I have and what y values I have. So my x values I can see are 1, 3, 4, and 6, which correspond with C. And my y values are 5, 2, and -2, which also correspond with answer choice C. 17, we need to solve for m. And I see this square root sign here. I know that the inverse operation of square root is to square both sides. So I'm going to multiply this side by itself. Square root of m minus 5 times the square root of m minus 5 is equal to 6 times 6. And this gives me m minus 5 is equal to 36. And then I can add 5 to both sides. I get m equals 41. D. This is a tricky question because it gives us the solution to the inequality and is asking us which of the inequalities matches it. So what I could do is I could go through and solve each one of these using my inverse operations. I can add 2 to both sides and then divide by 5. This one says m is greater than 2 over 5, but that's not 0 like that one says. So I could go through and do all of them, or I can just think in my head. For all of these, I'm going to do the same inverse operation, plus 2 and divide by 5. So I need to look over here and see which one can I add 2 to and then divide by 5 to get 0. Now, looking at answer choice D, if I add 2 to both sides, I'll get 0. And then dividing 0 by 5 still leaves me with 0. So D is the correct choice because it gives us the solution of m is greater than 0. Martha has $17 and she earns $8 an hour for babysitting. This expression explains how much money she has after each number of hours. It says how much money will she have after 11 hours. I could either just start with $17 and add 8 11 times, but that would be a lot of work. I can use this expression to help me. I can say she gets $8 11 times plus the 17 that she already has. So those 11 hours will give her $88, and if we add the 17 she already has, we get $105. Answer choice C. The carpet cleaning company charges $2 for every square yard of carpet, plus a fee of $42. If C is the cost or the charge, and N is the amount of carpet, the number of square yards of carpet, which one of these equations matches? So first we need to see, this one says the cost is equal to $2 plus $40 for each square yard of carpet. That doesn't make any sense. This one says the number of square yards of carpet is equal to 40 yards plus 2 yards for each dollar that you spend. That can't be right. This one says the cost is equal to $2 for every square yard of carpet plus a fee of $42, which matches exactly with what the situation said, so the answer choice is C.